What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So look, I'm back discussing my bread and butter, NBA basketball, specifically NBA playoff basketball, my favorite time of the year. So I missed a few rounds of some playoff basketball talk. So right now we're in the conference finals, and let's talk about the Eastern Conference Finals game that I just watched: the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Atlanta Hawks. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Atlanta Hawks by a score of 113 to 102. And let me just say this, man. This was a really exciting game. No lie. Like, since, the powerhouse teams have been eliminated, you've been able to take a closer look at teams that we may not normally watch. We're taking a closer look at players that we don't get a chance to see on a regular basis unless they're playing against the powerhouse teams. So I've taken notice of several different players, between all these different rosters, right? And we're seeing the emergence of guys like John Collins, like Kevin Huerter. We're seeing Khris Middleton up his game on a big level. We're seeing guys like, we knew Devin Booker could hoop. We've seen guys like Cameron Payne and so on and so forth. But look, this game here specifically, this is the thing. Atlanta played about 42 to 43 minutes of great basketball. And those last 5 to 6 minutes, everything went south. Things turned everything got abysmal for them. They couldn't buy a shot. They couldn't get stops. Even when they got offensive rebounds, they couldn't convert on second chance opportunities. And that's a recipe for disaster, especially on the other end when the other team is scoring and Khris Middleton is red hot. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I remember when Khris Middleton first got that big deal from Milwaukee. And when I would watch Khris Middleton on big time games, he would be iffy, right? Sometimes he'd be on fire. He was really really inconsistent to me when I saw him in big games. So because I don't live in Milwaukee, I don't see him locally all the time. So I'm thinking like, man, why the hell did they give him that huge bag, fam? I'm like, Khris Middleton he don't need that big ass bag like that. Come on, fam. Like he's solid, but he ain't that. Listen, Khris Middleton proved why he got that big ass bag. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. As much as I love watching Giannis play, he's not the closer for this team. Khris Middleton has to be the closer for this squad. Why? The dude can shoot lights out from three. Especially when he hot, man, he red hot as y'all saw. And then when you foul him, he can go to the free throw line and knock down his free throws, which is a kryptonite for Giannis. So he has to be the closer in my opinion, and that's exactly what he was. Fam was hitting shots from wherever he wanted. He was giving them all they can handle and then some. And I'm like, yeah, he getting Milwaukee up out of here tonight. He was letting that mug ride. I'm looking like, nah, fam, he not missing. He not missing, and he went unconscious. Especially, and he did it right at the time where the game was starting to get out of hand. They were down by like 5, and I'm like, in my opinion, I feel like Atlanta was trying to gain some momentum in order to pull away. Now, I gotta mention that Trae Young stepped on the official's foot, and it hurt his ankle. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Milwaukee had to convert baskets. Somebody had to score. Khris Middleton was scoring basket after basket, and I'm like, man, dude ain't playing tonight. Especially up into this game, he really hadn't played well in the series, So that first game, it was real rough, and that's why they lost that first game in Milwaukee, right? So I'm like, okay, let's see what Khris Middleton does, and dude came out guns a blazing. For that reason, I understand why he got that bag. He hit a lot of difficult shots. And I want to talk about Milwaukee's team in general, man. Like, Bobby Portis is a former Chicago Bull. Went to University of Arkansas, was SEC Player of the Year when he was in college. So I'm privy to what he can do. Played some very good games for the Bulls, right? But giving him 15 points and 17 minutes off the bench is a spark plug for that team. He's rough, rugged, aggressive. He's willing to do all the dirty work for this team, and that's something that they need. Giannis had 33, 11 rebounds, 4 assists in 4 minutes. In 41 minutes. If he had that in 4 minutes, I'd be like, God damn. But anyway, Brook Lopez contributing. Now, Drew Holiday shot the ball horrendous. Awful. God awful. And sometimes, Drew be looking like Eric Bledsoe at times. I'm like, damn. But the young man, Drew finished with 6 points, with 12 assists, 4 rebounds. And this is the thing, too. Played great defense. Excellent defense, and I got to give him credit for that. When you're not converting offensively, the least you can do is play some defense and try to get some stops. And that's what he did. To me, in my opinion, I think that Milwaukee has a better overall team to me. However, Atlanta has the better shooters. And if you can get Atlanta to miss especially down the stretch. If you can get them to miss shots and get stops, you can secure the game if you can convert offensively. And that's what Milwaukee did tonight. Giannis has another big game, but sometimes I feel like Giannis gets too loosey-goosey in the lane. Like, coming down the lane, coming down to the middle of the lane, trying to penetrate the lane, and people always strip him from the back, from the weak side or something. They always give him strip him. I'm like, yo, he got to take better care of the basketball. But nonetheless, man, I got to give all credit to Mr. Khris Middleton. Like, damn. But, Trae Young is an absolute baller. Trae Young has taken a step from star to superstar across his playoffs. Winning series against the Knicks, winning series, going into the Garden and performing big time, getting them up out of there. Going into Philly, getting them up out of there. Atlanta wasn't even supposed to be this far. You know what I mean? They wasn't even supposed to make it to this point. So to watch them play like this, I'm like, man, this is like Atlanta got some hoopers. From Kevin Huerter, like I said, Danilo Gallinari provided 18 points. Trae had 35 and 4 assists. John Collins is another guy. They got a nice squad put together. But the problem is they could not score. When Trae got hurt, they couldn't buy a basket. Somebody else had to create their... And they got the ability to create their own shots. I've seen Kevin Huerter do it. I've seen Danilo Gallinari get great buckets when need be. But unfortunately, they couldn't do it tonight. And at that point, that's when a veteran like Sweet Lou, like Lou Williams, got to step up and hit those big shots for Atlanta to get them out of the slump when their star player is hurt or he got a nagging injury. I'm expecting a guy like Lou to get fire hot, to get red hot, because that's what he does. Lou Williams is a professional scorer. That's what he's been his whole career. So I'm expecting him to step up and take that leap and hold on, I've been here before. I've been in the playoff runs. Well, Lou ain't been this deep in the playoffs. I don't think. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't never remember watching Lou Will in the conference finals at all. So, he's in uncharted territory, but at the same time, he's been in playoffs and provided big games during the NBA playoffs. So I was expecting him to try to give more than 5 points in 18 minutes, so... But Milwaukee, man, they did what the hell they had to do to get up out of there. And I'm like this, too. You got to they kept going to the hot hand. That's the recipe to winning. Don't go away from the dude. Of course, if he doubled or something like that, you know what I mean? Of course, pass it to Giannis. You're going to give it to Drew Bledsoe. Golly, I'm about to say Drew Bledsoe. You're going to give it to Drew Holiday. You're going to give it to PJ Tucker, so on and so forth. But if you can, keep feeding the hot hand, and that's what they did. They let it ride. Milwaukee had 27 assists compared to 20 assists on the Atlanta side. But other than that, man, all the numbers were neck and neck. Atlanta shot better from three than them. They shot 15 to 37 for 40%. Milwaukee shot 11 to 29 for 37%. Milwaukee shot a tad bit better, a smidge better. Well, not even just a smidge. A little, yeah, it was pretty close. Atlanta shot 46%. Milwaukee shot 51%. The difference, though, is the points in the paint. Milwaukee had 56 points in the paint compared to 34 points in the paint from Atlanta side, right? And I'm like this. I remember at one point at the end, and it was in the second quarter, because I watched the very end of, I started watching, in the second quarter, right? So at one point I think they had Atlanta in the penalty with 7 minutes to go. And I'm like, yo, attack the basket. If I'm Giannis, block, I understand, you're going through the slump sometimes, the little stuff getting in your head when you can't hit a free throw and the crowd is counting down and try to get him off a rhythm, counting down while he holding the ball, because y'all know he got that long free throw routine. So they trying to hurry up and get him to rush the shot, thinking that he's in shot clock violation or whatever. But whatever. If you even if you miss, keep attacking. Because either you're gonna do one thing. Either you're gonna miss the free throw or you're gonna make it. And then at the same time, you're gonna get guys in foul trouble, which puts pressure on them. You know what I mean? So keep going, keep attacking the paint. From Khris Middleton to Bobby Portis to Drew Holiday to Giannis, everybody. Keep attacking the paint, and then live with whatever the result is at that point. Live with the results, man. But yeah, that's a big gap. 56 to 34 points in the paint. Big gap. I mean, they were neck and neck with turnovers, steals. And it was a very, very close game. As you can see, it came down to the wire. But I feel like Milwaukee, you know what I mean? Like, the differences in the teams showed here. Like, Atlanta got a great team for sure, but I don't think outside of Trae, they got, I mean, them boys hoop, man, for real. But I don't know if, like, do they really got another guy? They got guys that can get hot and can score for sure. But do they really got a guy that can get them up out of there outside of Trae? To me, Milwaukee got another dude that can get them up out of there outside of Giannis, and that's Khris Middleton, clear, cut, and dry. He's another guy that can get them out of there and get them to win. I don't think outside of Trae, Atlanta got another guy like that. You know, but I've been fascinated with Atlanta's run. You know, God rest my Uncle Phil's soul, was my dad's best friend, right? He lived in Atlanta. Always was talking about the Hawks when the Hawks was trash. When they had Sheldon Williams and all of them, and they was losing games like a mug. He always talking about going to the Hawks game. He will be proud to be watching these Hawks play, man. Like I said, they played about 42 to 43 minutes of very great basketball. It's just they could not close the game in efficient fashion. And when you can't close the game, that's when you see, when you can't close the game and the other team, you can't stop the other team from scoring. It's a recipe for disaster, a whole recipe for disaster, man. But shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks for getting this win. Milwaukee is up 2-1 now. Let's see if Atlanta can win, can tie the series in the next. They got another home game. Let's see if they can win this next home game and even up the series. I've been watching Phoenix and the Clippers. I'm hoping that the Clippers can come back and make this a series because I don't know. I just like. When my team not in it, you know what I mean? I'm a Bulls fan and I root for Bron. Whatever team Bron on, right? If the Bulls ain't in it, I'm rooting for whatever team Bron on. Since I don't really got no dog in the race right now, I want to see these playoffs extend, right? But I'm going to be real with y'all. I feel like Milwaukee is going to take the cake. I feel like they got the best team left of all the teams in the playoffs. And I feel like they riding a high momentum. And I think that they can defeat every single team left in the playoffs right now. I got Milwaukee winning it all. Of course, so that means I got them winning this series. You know, Charles Barkley picked them as well. We know Chuck get a lot of things wrong, a lot of predictions wrong. I'm hoping on this time, Charles Barkley agreeing with me, I'm right. You know what I mean? So I believe that Milwaukee can win the whole chip. I feel like after they eliminated Brooklyn, I said, you know what? I think them boys got the best squad. They got all the necessary key pieces to win a championship. Guys that can hit free throws, guys that can shoot, guys that can play defense. They got the star player, you know, who they can lean on when times get rough, even though sometimes Giannis do get shaky. But for the most part, dude is big time. He's box office, but he's box office because he's big time. You know what I mean? He's unstoppable when he going to the cup. When he going to the rack, he's unstoppable. That's why he got to stop falling in love with them damn jumpers, shooting so many threes, go to the paint and put pressure on Atlanta and have Atlanta on their heels. Now, you're going to get met by Clint Capella and so on and so forth or whatever. You might get blocked, you might get fouled, but listen, keep applying pressure to him, man. Listen, thank y'all for watching. I'm going to be talking about every other game from now on and out. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment, tell me, let me know what y'all thinking, who gonna win it all. A lot of y'all probably want to see Chris Paul get his ring, you know what I mean? Especially since he's been hurt all the other times. He always came up short because he got hurt at pivotal moments when he was with the Clippers and so on and so forth and with the Houston Rockets or whatever. So a lot of people are rooting for Chris Paul to get his first ring. You know, I don't care who wins, but I just think, in my opinion, I feel like Milwaukee going to get the chip, man. And Giannis going to get rewarded for staying in Milwaukee and re-signing with them. You know, get him a chip. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.